So we're going to go ahead and jump in. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be going over today. So Josh, you're going to throw the slides up. Okay, this is training number 4. Again, we have 6 total live trainings. I'm going to show you some of the stuff we talked about last week in case maybe you've missed them. They are all uploaded into your vault, so you'll be able to access them there. Today's training, we're going to talk specifically on AI and split testing, or how to use AI to do some of your split testing. This will relate very specifically to your digital real estate course, because we're going to show you how to improve your websites and come up with better headlines and buttons and calls to action, those types of things. And we also have some additional training that Christine is going to retouch on based on our conversation last week on how to use Sheets and Excel and things like that with artificial intelligence. So we're doing a little bit of that. Reminder that these trainings are all part of what is called the AI Academy. It came with your Triple Threat Toolkit. It comes with these trainings. It also comes with a bunch of other ones that are all inside the vault. So if you have had any issues or haven't been able to join us on a previous training, just a reminder. Oh, and again, it's us hosting, Colton and Christine.
We got to get a new picture for next week, Colton.
We do.
That one's starting to get a little repetitive there.
We'll have AI make a new one. That picture of me is like 4 years old too, so it's kind of funny. The previous trainings that we have done, our first week, for those who missed it, we did an AI overview. Then we also did on week 2, talking about the king of AI, ChatGPT, and a lot of tricks for that one. Week 3, we did AI tips and tricks and talked specifically about Sheets and how to use it with Google Sheets and Excel. And then, like I mentioned, today we're going to retouch on the split testing, and then Christina has some additional training for you. If you have missed any of these trainings, be sure to go to your vault, which is, again, chriskronementorvault.com. Log in with the email that you used to purchase, and you will see all of the trainings are actually added inside the vault, inside the Triple Threat Toolkit AI Academy. There's me wearing a different button up and a different beanie, and then you'll have all of them there. So again, all the trainings are uploaded. This one is also being recorded. It will be uploaded shortly after. So if you've missed anything or you want to review anything, we do upload the trainings and the slides, so be sure to check those out. Feel free to take notes, but again, everything is recorded and will be uploaded. So just want to remind you for that. With that, I want to kick it off with a question. For those of you who have been here in the past, you remember we like to start off with some questions to see how you guys are using AI or what we've been learning in these trainings in your businesses, in your everyday life. And we like to give away something. So Christine, what are we going to give away today for whoever has the best response on what they've learned and applied from AI Academy?
So we're going to give away 2 things. First one is going to be a VIP package to UFD. You could use it for this coming one, which is actually first weekend of May, or the one after that. That comes with lots of wonderful perks, including food and proximity to Chris, better seating,
live Q&A sessions,
a pre-party, which is always super fun the night before. And then we're going to do something a little unique today. We're actually going to be giving away some headshots, some custom headshots to a person. And I don't know, can you see my screen right now?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, so I did this last night for my dad, and this is what inspired me. This right here is my dad. His name is Ronald. He just can't take a good picture to save his life for whatever reason. This is actually my dad with my dog, Frodo, who takes great pictures. And so he asked me, he was like, can you create some headshots for me? And I said, sure. So this is what we came up with, and check this out. That, I have to say, looks pretty good. Colton, would you agree?
It does look pretty good. I like that they've added like the little smile to him.
They have. So whoever we choose today, we will get you a set of headshots. This one is actually like really funny too. I don't know why they just randomly slapped a cowboy hat on him, but there's Cowboy Ronald. So yeah, we'll get you a set of headshots, and maybe we'll do it with a couple people today. So
yeah, go ahead and drop in the chat again, putting the slides back up. What is one thing you've learned from AI Academy that you are applying in your life? So this could be your everyday life. You could talk strictly business, but go ahead and drop those. We're going to check out the chat throughout the training today, and then we will choose the winner, and they'll get VIP tickets for the next event. And then we will also throw on the headshot. So,
and if it is the case that you haven't learned anything from the trainings that we've been doing now for 4 weeks, then we're obviously doing something wrong. So give us that feedback. Let us know what you guys have learned, what you guys have implemented successfully, because then it'll definitely make us very happy that we're having an impact with these trainings here.
100%. We also, last week, we gave away a free consultation, which we'll be reaching out to this upcoming week. So we do like to give away things. So if this is your first time on the training, be sure to try and attend the other ones. We try and have fun things to give away as well. So, okay. With that, we're going to jump in, and Christina, I'm going to pass the baton to you. We're actually going to talk about the agenda for this training today, and we're going to do some live demos with you guys and go over a little bit about everything that we're going to be covering for about the next hour. And at the end, we will have some Q&A. So Christine, take us away.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to pop in and share my screen again, this time without my dad's face on it. So here we go. Today we've got 5 exciting things for you guys. The first one is a follow-up on GPT for Sheets. Just wanted to touch on some things based on some feedback that I saw over the last week. The second thing that we're going to be talking about today in order is actually going to be using AI for split testing. Colton has a really exciting training on that we've been trying to get to now for 2 previous trainings, and today we're finally going to hit it. It's going to be a super useful tool for you guys, especially in the world of digital real estate, but you'll find that it has some useful applications outside of that as well. Then we're going to be talking about what's next for AI. Spoiler alert, I saw somebody in the chat actually mention Agent GPT. It's going to be changing everything. It's insane. And we're very excited to tell you guys about that today. Then we're going to do our live demos throughout. And finally, we're going to end with a Q&A session. You guys can come on, ask us anything that you want. If we can't get you the answer right away, then we will definitely incorporate it into next week's training, as we did with GPT for Sheets.
I do want to chime in, by the way, because we are getting a bunch of responses here in the chat on what people are using ChatGPT for. And I got to say that Kieran, and I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong, so I apologize. Kieran said that they used ChatGPT to plan their Disney trip to save a lot of time and get rid of stress. And I love that because it's just this practical way of using it. And I am a huge Disney fan. So Kieran, go ahead and respond how that went. If you've already gone on the trip, I'm curious to know kind of what ChatGPT did, because that's pretty cool.
Another thing that is hitting home, tugging a little bit of my marketing heartstrings, is Laurel's response, which is awesome. ChatGPT is a professional consultant for content and marketing for her books. She's got many useful ideas, helpful questions to really flesh things out. And it's still useful to double check. Yes, you always want to make sure to double check what ChatGPT yields you, because sometimes it'll go rogue on you. It's kind of some of that robot being a robot that wants to start thinking for itself and doing destructive things kind of action. So always good to double check, but super awesome that you haven't had to do any grammar or spelling checks. AI is fantastic for that. So awesome to see some feedback. And Colton, I trust that you are going to be taking into consideration everything that's coming up and picking a winner so we can debut some really awesome headshots. We'll debut all of the headshots next week. So please be willing to share them. So here's a follow-up from last week that I wanted to touch on. So a lot of people did give positive feedback about the training, but they were very concerned about the potential of AI tapping into proprietary information, which is usually stored in spreadsheets, right? Whether that be Google Sheets or typically for super proprietary information that's going to be on Microsoft Excel, since that is an offline application. So I did want to make it known that if security and proprietary information are your concern, then GPT for Sheets and Docs or Sheets AI, they may not be the best option for you, because what they do require is permission for the AI to actually access the spreadsheet that you're trying to integrate with AI. But there is a workaround. We touched on it last time, but I'm not sure if we were clear enough. So I want to make sure that we address that today. So the key is actually to use ChatGPT to create codes to do whatever you want without actually accessing the spreadsheet itself. So what you can do is think to yourself, when you pull up a spreadsheet, what do I want to do? Like, what is the objective here? Am I trying to create a table super fast? Am I trying to organize information, get a total? Or perhaps you're trying to do some more complex things. What you can do is actually access ChatGPT and get it to create a code for that inside of ChatGPT. And then you take that code and you run it. If you're in Google Sheets, it's going to be on AppScript or the scripts editor. And then I believe it's VBA editor for Microsoft Excel. So that's kind of the workaround, right? So for Sheets, again, you're creating code for AppScript, copying it, pasting it into there. And then for Excel, you're going to just create code for VBA editor. And this will give you the opportunity to get the code that you need in order to do the functions that you want without actually having AI ever access any of your proprietary information. Now, if you're okay with having AI access your information, then perhaps this isn't as important to you. But if you're working a job and that employer probably would not be thrilled if there was ever a security leak and their proprietary information got out, then this workaround is the best way to go. So let's go ahead and just do a very, very quick demo since we did show this last week. Let's do a quick demo on what exactly that would look like. So let's go ahead and go into ChatGPT right here. And I'm going to pull up my really cheesy, really fake data set that I had last week. And here's the application that I asked, or the formula that I asked it to create for me. And I'll actually just copy paste this and have it do it again so you guys can see how quick this actually is. So here we go. I'm asking it to create an optimized macro. And what I'm doing is I'm identifying that this is actually for Google Sheets and not for Microsoft Excel, because the code is going to be a little bit different. And then I'm asking it to organize the categories of my spreadsheet in a certain column to get corresponding totals. Now, I also did this here again, and I asked it to create a graph. So this is actually all within ChatGPT. And one thing that you want to make sure to do and note is that ChatGPT is not going to ever have the ability to see the data that you're asking it to create a function for, create a code for, right? So you have to be very specific. If you actually say, hey, I need you to, let's say the objective here is to create a summary by region of the totals that we have here in our spreadsheet, and we want to create a chart for it as well. Well, you can't really say, hey, I need you to go ahead and create a summary of the regions in total the way that I explained it. Instead, what you have to do is you have to say, I want you to create a macro for column B. So I want you to organize by column B, which is region. And I want you to get me the corresponding totals in column G. And so you're guiding it in a very detailed way. And then you're saying, select the categories, see the totals, and then create a graph of the data. You're organizing it, or you're actually coaching it in a way where it never actually has to see the spreadsheet. But because it's not seeing the spreadsheet, you have to be granular with the way that you're instructing it. So let's go ahead and apply this code and see what happens. Cross our fingers that I don't get embarrassed. So you go to, this is within Google Sheets, you go to extensions and you run AppScript. All of a sudden you're an overnight developer, which is fun. All you do is you click here, you open the script. And if you need some help integrating AppScript with your spreadsheet, super, super easy. The training before this one actually breaks it all down. So then you come here and you paste that script that ChatGPT has generated for you, and then you run it. So it always does this for whatever reason, just to embarrass me, and then I run it again and it typically works. So there we go. Execution started, execution completed. If it did it properly, then boom, there it is. So what I asked for it to do is create totals by region and then create a nice little graph for me of the totals. So that's exactly what it did.
And the totals on the graph are again by region. So it did it like the same thing, but in several different formats, right? Because you've got the central, east, west up top. Then you've got the graph as well. So it's, and it created that summary sheet too, right? Because that's all new.
Absolutely. Yeah, it did. It created a new sheet just because if it adds it here, it's probably going to get too messy. So it's kind of already thinking on its own a little bit to create something that is done for you in the most ideal way. Now, of course, this is very basic and you always want to double check, right? So this is under the assumption that I'm just not that good at creating graphs, not great at creating totals. And so this would take somebody who knows Excel maybe 5-10 minutes to do. But if you don't know Excel, oh, it could easily be half an hour to an hour. And even if you do know Excel, this took what, 30 seconds, Colton? 1 minute, maybe tops to put together. So it'll save you time. And it definitely does work with more complex applications. You just need to make sure that you quality check. So let's just do a quality check. Again, hope that it does not embarrass us. So we want to see the total for, let's do East, 6,002.09. So let's go ahead and total that up right here. And it stops right there. There we go. Okay, so it didn't fail us. So it's always good to double check, especially when you're working with bigger data sets, just to make sure the information is accurate, just to make sure that the code works. But the cool thing is if the code doesn't work, you have other options as well. And I'll just touch on this real quick. So you can debug within the actual app script, or you could go back and say, let's say it accidentally generated code for Google Sheets when it was supposed to be Excel, didn't work, recreate code for Microsoft, and I spelled that wrong, but it's okay, Excel VBA editor. And it goes, sure. And as you can see, the code for VBA editor is a lot different than the code for AppScript for Google Sheets, and it'll adjust it. And the cool thing is that if you have an error here, it will actually tell you what the error is, and you can copy and paste that to ChatGPT and say, AppScript is giving me the following error, fix it. And then it'll readjust the code and fix it for you. So just wanted to go over that again. Remember, you absolutely do not need to grant access to an AI function when it comes to your spreadsheets. This is the workaround. Just go into ChatGPT, instruct it to generate a script or a code for you to do whatever you want it to do, and then go back into Excel, go back into Sheets without ever asking the AI to review your information, which will require you to give a little bit more of a granular direction to the app, paste it, and there you go. It's beautiful. You can do pretty much everything that you want to with these codes. So with that, Colton is finally going to do his split testing segment that he's been trying to do for the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We'll go into that, and then we'll update you guys on some new things in the world of AI and do some live Q&A, and obviously announce our headshot/VIP winner.
Which I've got a bunch of great options in the way, Christine. I'm going to send some your way so you can check them out too.
Oh, wonderful.
Really good responses. I have who I think should be the winner. So I'm going to send you my notable mentions as well. So just sent that over to you. Okay, guys, let's drop in the chat and thank Christine. That was awesome. We're always grateful for her training. I want to talk a little bit about what we've been trying to get to, which is actually discussing split testing. So I'm going to skip ahead here to where we want to do for mine. Okay. So we've been for those who have been with us from the beginning, our loyal followers, we've been discussing the split testing for a while, and I brought it up a few weeks ago, and we've just never been able to get to the training because we do want to leave time for Q&A and other things, so we've always kind of put it off. So I want to go ahead and give you some knowledge background on what split testing is, where it comes from, some of the key notable figures so that you can sound smart next time you're at the dinner table with your Aunt Bertha, who always asks you weird questions. But it'll make you sound intelligent. You also know some of the background, and it will help you as you implement split testing because you'll know some of the origins of it. And then I'm going to do a live test where I'll show you how to take a website and use AI to come up with split test ideas. So I'm really excited about that. So we can go to the slides for a minute. So we're going to do another live demo in just a second. But before we go there, again, I want to cover these things. What is split testing? Why is it important? How does it relate to you? So for those of you who are new to this concept, split testing is really, really, really important for the digital real estate course. So if you're kind of tuning out of other things, this is one you're going to want to kind of chime in on and make sure you understand. Split testing is something else that is also known as A/B testing. It is a method that's used by marketers or in the world of marketing to compare two or more variations of a single variable to determine which versions perform better. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking an audience and we're going to send them to two different places, in this case, a split test or a page. And on one page, we're going to have the design or the copy be a certain way. And the other page, we're going to have it be a different way. And by sending the same traffic there, you do something that's called an A/B split test, where you send it there and then you can see which one performs better for your audience at that time based on whatever you're offering, right? And marketers do this all over the world, and you may not even notice it, and they tweak little things here and there because it's all about conversion, right? If you have eyeballs hitting a page, you now need to find out what's going to make them interact on that page, right? So a little bit of the history of split testing, just so you guys are aware. The concept of split testing or A/B testing dates as early back as the early 1900s, so 20th century. This is when you have the rise of psychology and film and media and a lot of focus on the mind. So you have a lot of statisticians, mathematicians, psychologists who started to conduct experiments that were related to the study of human behavior. We had finally reached a spot in the history of humanity where we were living comfortably enough that we had food every day, and now we started to study ourselves. And with that came things like split testing or psychology or neurotics, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the key figures who studied these types of things, specifically with human behavior and kind of the early levels of split testing, a few of them just so you can put in your registrar to remember to sound cool one day: Sir Ronald A. Fisher, Cloud E. Shannon, John B. Watson. These are some of our good, friendly, old, rich, dead white guys. Sir Ronald A. Fisher was one of the early biologists, and while he didn't know exactly split testing, he was one of the first people to say, let's take two different samples. He did this with like soil, and he would put a different type of soil for one group of plants and then do a different type for the other group, right? And he would only compare that one variable. So he started this concept of comparing two different things by splitting up a variable and seeing what the outcome was. Cloud E. Shannon, he actually was he's known as a father of information theory. He came up with the idea of the binary or the digit, the one or the zero, which helped us start to understand kind of binary differences in things, testing strictly it's a one or it's a zero or the difference there. And he led the path for a lot of the data-based information systems that we have with computers and technology today. So he's a pretty cool name. Another one to be aware of, his name is John B. Watson. He was a human behavior psychologist. He's also known as the father of human behavior studies. He did tests in the early 1900s. One of them is called, I believe it's the Little Albert experiment, where they took a child, he was a 9-month-old, and they tried to see if they could condition this child to be afraid or unafraid of animals based on noises they would make when the animal was there. So it took this like poor little child, which is very unethical and would never happen today, and they would show it, I think, rats and bunnies and some of these animals. And at first, they gauged whether or not the child was interested or afraid. And if it wasn't, then they tried conditioning to see if they could make the child afraid of that based on another stimulus. So they would bang a pot behind it when it saw a rat. And then later they would not bang the pot and see if the child was still afraid of the rat.
And now they just do that with AI. So
Now
instead
they
of
just do it with AI.
torturing children, there's AI that they use to subject to these experiments. I don't know if
Exactly.
you saw, Colton, but there was a video going around that went viral of an AI that was given a lifelong task, essentially, of just doing very repetitive work. It was like stock work. And after 15 minutes, like stocking shelves and doing just physical, manual, repetitive labor, and it killed itself.
Jeez.
It's
It
just
just
shut
died.
itself off. It just randomly shut itself off because it decided, like, the AI was so intuitive, it decided that it would rather not exist than continue doing
To
this
do
for
that.
more than 15 minutes. That's all it lasted. So yeah, unfortunately, they're the new guinea pigs when it comes to unsavory experiments.
Yep. So again, just some of those key figures if you guys want to know, but these early people started to bring up these ideas of, can humans be conditioned to choose one thing over the other? Is there a method of split testing to check one group being more successful if you change certain variables, binaries, information, that kind of stuff? So a lot of these things started in the 1900s because we get the rise of time to spend studying things and also marketing and other things like that. So we've talked in previous trainings about kind of the rise of marketing and split testing marketing things. This all coincides with psychology and media and everything there. So, okay, so why split test? Split test it allows us to make something that we're going to refer to a lot, and this is a common term, but it's called data-driven decisions. This means that we are going to react to what we are testing, and then it will allow us to improve because we are doing it based off of data, not a hunch, right? So if we take 10,000 people, we send them to 2 pages, and it turns out the page where we mention the word free instead of complementary is more beneficial, then we know based on data and we can make a decision, right? So in the world of business, if you're new to this, you always want to do what's called data-driven decisions. It also allows us to do continuous improvement, meaning we can always improve the pages, and it allows you to maximize your ROI, which is whether your time or your money, if you're doing ads, any of those things, right? If you have a certain amount of eyeballs that can hit the page, you want to make sure you maximize the return on investment, your ROI, for that page. A few best practices as you're doing these things, these split tests. Define your hypothesis. This also sounds very similar to a scientific method, so if you're familiar with that. So you want to choose what you're going to test. Are you going to test the buttons? Are you going to test the call to action? Are you going to test the colors? Define what you want to test, right? Now, you don't got to do through the full process of writing out your hypothesis necessarily, but make sure you're at least picking, I'm going to test this versus this and just try that method, right? Next thing is you want to only test one element at a time. You don't want to go and change a bunch of things because then you won't know what drove the action to change. You just know that one page is better. And so best practice is that it's better to test one thing, the color of the buttons, or this language on the headline, or this design on the page kind of as a whole, right? You don't want to mix changing all of the copy and all of the design at the same time, because then you won't know what's improving. Make sure that you collect ample data. In the world of Chris Crone, what we do with that is we usually try and get 1,000 page hits before we make big decisions. If it's a page that has really low data and we're trying to move forward, we don't do anything unless it has at least a few hundred. But you just want to make sure you get ample data. So don't make a decision based on only a few people taking your action. Make sure you have, whatever that means to you, ample data. And then rinse and repeat. So once you've found out, okay, well, this headline is better when I mention these terms, choose that one to be the winner, and then try a slightly different variation of that and see if maybe now changing it to be, leaning more into what you were suggesting is better or not. So you always want to continue to do this. It will help you improve.
Bolton, how many times have we been humbled by split test data?
All the time. Yeah, you never want to make a decision in business, right? Don't make it off of emotion. You may think the page is going to perform better because you like the way that it looks, but it turns out you could definitely be wrong. And we've been wrong many times. We've been doing this for, between both of us, 20 years. So make sure that you split test it, run off of data, not emotion, and let yourself be humbled by the data, because at the end of the day, your opinion doesn't matter. It's whatever's driving conversions. That's what matters, because that's what puts leads in the bucket. It's what puts money on the table. It's always about the data. So let the data choose for you.
And in the world of digital real estate, I mean, you might be surprised. You could create one version of your page, which is really based on the color blue, and the other one, which is heavily based on the color green. And you'll tell yourself, well, yeah, people are going to respond better to the green one because it's the color of money. And for some reason, the conversion rate is 10% higher on the one that is blue based. So it's really insane how things that you think are so minute can really change the way that a page performs pretty significantly.
100%.
Conversion rate.
It may also depend on traffic, right? You may have a page that's for Facebook or Instagram, and the audiences on there are going to be older. Maybe they're more used to reading copy in a different way. And then you have a page that's on TikTok, and those are the younger generations. So they just need to get right to the point. So you also want to split test things based on sources sometimes, because different sources bring in different style of eyeballs, basically. So, okay. Now, a few things about what should you be split testing. There's a couple different elements that are common to go to, but obviously it could be anything on the page. Some of the key ones, if you're new to this, test the headlines. Your headline is obviously that top phrase on the page, whatever the main call to action is going to be. Test changing up the wording there, and I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT and AI to do this. You can also change the buttons, change what color they are, change how they work. Do they bounce back and forth, or do they pulse a certain color, or change what the buttons say. Does the button say get your free game plan, or does it say learn more? And some people that may function very differently. Some people may want to do it, right? You can test the images. So the style of images that you have, do you have images of, I don't even know, if you're doing a fitness one, do you have images of both male and female? Do you have images of a certain style of dress? Do you have ones that show everyday people improving? All sorts of stuff there. And again, AI is going to help us come up with these ideas. The last thing to consider, you could also test the videos, right? So on your page, you have one video that's 3 minutes long where you're pitching something. On the other video, you have a 30-second version. It's short and to the point, but it doesn't give all the information. Test and see which one converts better. And then you also want to try and keep your eye on, when you're marketing, it's not just the conversion, right? It's not just how many people are going to opt in to your action, right? On the page, you have opt-in forms for them to put in their information and become a lead. You also want to do your best to keep track of, between the A and B test, which of those leads actually garnered money. Because maybe on one you're getting 100 leads, but you're not getting the right leads. The other one you only got 10, but 5 of them closed. So do your best to try and think of this globally. Think of, I want to get attention on the page, so I want good ads to get them there. Then I also want the page to convert, but I also want those leads to turn into money. So you just want to try and keep a global perspective. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a split test demo, and I'm going to show you how to do this with ChatGPT. I'm going to show you Chat PDF, which we've done on a previous training, so if it's new to you, don't worry. And then I'm going to show you a little bit on something that's called Go Full Page, which is an extension to download PDFs. However, sometimes it won't convert it to text. So I'm going to show you another one that I don't have on here yet because I just found it. That's called Soda PDF or something like that. So I'm actually going to switch now to my personal laptop. So we're going to stop the screen share on this one. And I'm going to come over here and I will share my screen on this guy. Okay, good. Okay. So this is a page, this is an older page that we had for Chris Crone. Many of you have seen this or probably bought the book because our value ladder is damn good. But this offers Chris Crone's free book, his Straight Path to Real Estate book. This is a page that we actually made, I think in 2019 was this version. We have kind of an updated one now that we've done through testing and implementation. But this page here, it offers his free book. So if I wanted to split test this, because I have the conversion, I want people to come and buy the book. This is an example. So if you're going to use just ChatGPT, what you could do is you could come in here and copy things like the headline, right? I have my headline up here, get your free copy of Chris Crone's bestseller, and then I have some other wording. But let's say that this is the text people are going to see right away, and your page may look different, but whatever that main headline is, and this is what you want to test. I'm going to show you how to do some of this with ChatGPT. This is very basic and simple. Some of you may know this, others, this may blow your mind. But if we wanted to test this, I would just highlight that text. I would come over to ChatGPT. And then I've already pre-written this because I really like this version of response, but I'm going to show it to you. So it says, I want you to work as a marketing expert with skill in copywriting and website design. This is going to set the forefront for my entire conversation. I will provide you with copy from a website and details about the offer on the site. You will provide me with split testing copy on the banners, headers, buttons, etc. So I'm just setting the standard for what this chat is going to be with ChatGPT. And again, if you're new to ChatGPT, you always want to have the I want you to act in this way, and I will give you this information, and therefore you will do X task. So I've done that, and then I've said, I've given it a little bit of context. I said the website offers a free book and charges shipping cost. The book is on real estate investing. It's written by Chris Crone. And then I said, please rewrite the current header. So this is that header that I copied. I'm going to have ChatGPT rewrite it. Boom. Okay, so it gives me some options here, which is great. But I want to know a little bit more about them. So I'm going to come in here and say, I always want to compliment. Great. These are awesome.
Well, with robots starting to think for themselves, Colton, and which we're going to go over coincidentally today, it's very nice and appreciated that you complimented the AI.
Thank you. So I'm going to have it rewrite or reorder them for me in highest to lowest on conversion rate. And it's going to say some sort of thing like, as an AI model, I can't do that, but here's general practice. And describe why you ordered them that way. Okay, so I did this a little bit differently on a previous one. I hope this one works and I don't embarrass myself on a live demo either. But I basically, they gave me 5, and now I just want to order them because this will help me start to learn as well, right? Remember, I'm a huge fan of learning and using AI to learn. So this is going to help me learn how to be a better marketer. So it gave me 5 options. I'm going to go in and say, order them, but also tell me why you ordered them. Okay, it'll give this thing as an AI model that it can't do that, but then it still kind of does. So this one's going to come in and say, I can give you some general insights, more or less, on the effective terms, so clarity and relevance, using urgency, emotional appeal. And I want to see if it will actually order these ones. If not, I'll show you the previous one I did. Sometimes you have to trick the system, actually tell it to you the way that you want it to. In fact, I'm just going to do that one. I'll come up here and show you the way it did this for me on the last one. And I think it was this guy. Okay, so this is a previous one that I did. I was doing this one last night on ChatGPT 4, but I asked the same thing, analyze the options and rank them highest for probability of conversion. So I had done the previous question where I asked it, give me options, and it did pretty similar ones to what you saw in the last chat. And then I said, analyze it. So it actually took the order and it will order them for whatever is best, right? And it says this ranking is based on the assumption that the most effective headers for conversion will emphasize the value of the book while clearly mentioning the shipping cost requirement. The headers are ordered by how well they balance these two aspects. So that's a really good one. Let me see if I can find the old one that I've done because it's really good. You're gonna see all my fun ChatGPT kind of history here. Chris Crone Real Estate, not that one.
Monster movies, Colton?
I studied monsters. That was my whole master's program. I should have had this one up. I just was working on it again yesterday. And the questions that it was responding was really good. Maybe it's this guy. Nope. This one? Nope. Oh, now it's going to get lost in my other feed here. That makes me sad. Say investment quotes branding. I think I've changed it now. Oh, here we go. Copywriting design. Yeah, this is one. Okay. So this is a similar conversation that I had. I said, analyze the options and tell me the highest probability of conversion. Sometimes AI will tell you, as an AI, I can't do that because I'd have to test the page. This one, what it did is it actually took them, and it will do this if you prompt it the right way. And it went in and it told me why it's ordering them that way. And this is good because it will help me understand how to become a better copywriter. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of this. So it took a previous one that it did and it ordered them for me. And then it provided reasoning. So it said, this first one, discover proven real estate investing strategies with a free copy of Chris Crone's Amazon bestseller, limited time offer. And here's the cool part. This option is strong because it highlights the benefits of the book, proven strategies. It mentions the author's credibility, Amazon bestseller, and creates a sense of urgency, limited time offer, right? If you're familiar with the world of marketing, this makes sense, but it's really good to have AI help us along the way. And then it does the same thing down with these other ones. So again, this is a short overview, but if you wanted to start testing AI split testing with using ChatGPT on your website, you could copy text because ChatGPT is text-based, and you could use the same platform as saying, I want you to be an expert in marketing in whatever field. I will give you text, you will rewrite it. And this is one method you can do to split test your headlines. You could do the same thing with buttons. You could do longer copy forms, but this is one way of doing it. I want to show you a way that in case you want to do the website as a whole, and maybe you don't own the website, maybe it's a competitor's website. One thing you want to remember is always learn from your competitors. If your competitors are knocking it out of the park, then you want to mimic whatever they're doing. And in the world of website design, we don't call that plagiarism, we call that funnel hacking. So if you wanted to learn from your competitor, you could download their website into a PDF, and then you could leverage Chat PDF. And this is a way for you to analyze the website from a full platform, not just copying and highlighting text. So there's a couple different ways. One of them is an extension that you can add, and it's called Go Full Page, which I've already added. Right here, Go Full Page. Go Full Page will take a whole snapshot of, I'll show you it on this one. It'll take a snapshot of your whatever web page you're on, and then it turns into a PDF, and then we can interact with ChatGPT or Chat PDF using the PDF. So if you had this one, you would do this. It would capture the whole thing. This is one method. Sometimes Go Full Page doesn't turn it into readable text. And in this case, for whatever reason, this website, it didn't. So I'm going to show you another one. But this is a really clean way to get a PDF of a website. It's called Go Full Page. It's a Chrome extension.
If you turn it into a PDF, Colton, and download that PDF, would that change? Would it be able to go ahead and read that text?
In some,
the PDF.
yes, in some cases it can. There's a style for PDFs that's called OCR or ORC, and it refers to online readable content. This one, for whatever reason, on this specific page, it didn't convert that very well. Now you could get Adobe Acrobat and you could take this PDF and you could put it on Adobe Acrobat or other ones, or you could ask ChatGPT ways to convert it to readable text. Oh, there we go. Someone put in optical character recognition. Thank you so much. In the chat. So there are ways to turn it into one, but in case you can't figure that out or you want another one, here's a platform that I found that does turn at least this example into readable text. And that is called Soda PDF. Again, it's a free one. You'll just take an HTML, you'll put it here, and it will download. It doesn't look as pretty as the as this one does, but it does essentially the same thing. So I'm going to show you how I do it with that one. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to copy this HTML. Going to go up here, put it in there, and I'm going to do get PDF. And we'll do the same process. It will convert it to a PDF file. And then what we can do is we can go over to Chat PDF and upload it. And now we can have a conversation with the entire website and try to dissect what's working and what's not. So hopefully this will work. While this is downloading, which I just did yesterday, once it downloads, you can come over here to Chat PDF, which if you're new to it, we covered this in one of the previous trainings, so you should totally check it out. It's amazing. If I went and I upload that same PDF, and I did this yesterday, it's just what downloaded here. I upload it here, it's gonna upload the entire website. And I'm gonna come in and ask it this question. Can you analyze the PDF and tell me why the copy is good from a marketing standpoint? I had a really interesting conversation with Chat PDF this week doing this type of a prompt strategy. So hopefully it will work similarly. Oh, permission denied. I think I got to reload it. Hang on just a second.
So Colton, while you're reloading, could this in theory be used in the world of digital real estate? If you take a look at the top page that is ranking, let's say number 1 or number 2 for certain keywords, and then you can actually take the PDF of that and then ask AI how to rank better in theory than the page that is ranking as 1 or 2?
Yes, you could. It would require several processes, but you totally could.
Pretty cool tie-in though, because it'll give you the ability to see what it is on that page that's causing it to rank so wonderfully. And it could even probably, I'm sure there's something you could do to where you could mine and see what the backlinks are, see what the SEO is. And then essentially you can ask AI, what do I need to do to rank better than this for my page? So kind of a cool connection to the world of digital real estate.
So I'm going to try the process again. I've done, if not, then I'll show you the one that I had yesterday. Because it's given me a weird error, which I haven't seen before, which of course only happens whenever you try and do something live. So I just uploaded it again. I'm going to go in here and copy what I did yesterday. Hopefully this will allow me to do it because it's the same question. There we go. Okay, so again, it's going to give the same things because as an AI model, I cannot provide subjective analysis, but here's an objective version, right? So again, this is the full website that I just downloaded, or at least that landing page. I want to understand how to be a better marketer, or I want to know why they're doing what they're doing. So I'm going to come to Chat PDF and have an interaction with it on the full scale. So I said, tell me about it. And it said, this PDF uses several marketing strategies to promote Chris Crone's book, Straight Path to Real Estate Wealth. These include free offer, limited time offer, social proof, call to action, emphasis on the value, etc. This is great because now I'm understanding the page and I'm understanding what this intelligent other person did to be successful. And now I can implement those same strategies on my page, which you could do. You could download your page and you could say, I want to improve these areas on this page. Give me ideas. If I tell this to keep going, let's see if it will. Last time it gave me a bunch more too. Boom, it'll keep going. Remember, AI usually caps itself after a certain amount of tokens, and it depends on the AI platform. So you just want to keep mind of that. But if you ask it to keep going, it'll keep going. This is so cool. This allows you to learn your competitor's website or have a full conversation with a marketing genius on your website. So I love doing this type of stuff. I think this is the way that we're going to use AI to improve the way that we work and how effective we are as marketers, how effective we are as workers. It's awesome. So I love this. Okay, that's the demo that I wanted to go over, just those two things. I'm actually going to stop doing my screen share here. Not a new share. I want to stop share. And then I'm going to come back. And I did see a question that just popped up. Can it give you advice on SEO improvement specifically? Yes. You wouldn't download that from this is Taya Mills' question. You wouldn't download, I don't know if you can pull SEO. I wonder if someone smarter than me on this call knows a way to pull kind of SEO keywords and stuff from another site. You can do your own SEO and you can have a conversation with ChatGPT to give you advice on your SEO. Or if you're just starting with SEO, you could just have a conversation to learn the basics and then apply them 100%. So yes, using this style, you could improve your SEO.
So SEMrush is a pretty good service from what I remember in the SEO world that'll actually give you the SEO behind a landing page. So you can always use that as a resource. And I'm sure there's AIs out there. Colton, why don't we make a note to actually go over it next week? How do we, a step-by-step live demo, if you guys would like to see that, a step-by-step live demo on how to pull SEO from existing pages and then work with that to try to create a better version for your own.
I love that. Yeah, we'll start to lean in because SEO is the other aspect of it. And Taya says yes. So, or Stanley says yes. So we'll do
We've
that.
got approval. Okay, definitely. We're going to do that next week then. Perfect. You guys tell
Awesome.
us what you want on these trainings and we'll incorporate them because this is our time to be as helpful to you as possible when it comes to the world of AI. And we definitely want there to be a direct application to what you guys are doing in the world of digital real estate.
100%. If you guys are like, look, we just want to talk about Lord of the Rings, we'll spend all next training talking about Lord of the Rings.
I will
Christina
turn my
takes notes.
camera on and show you guys my dog whose name is Frodo, if you guys want to go that route.
Awesome. So I want to go back to the slides for a minute to show you just some of the key figures. If you're interested in learning more about split testing or you want to improve this or kind of learn from the best, right? I'm going to go from one side to the other. So Joanna Wiebe, she is the co-founder of Copy Hackers. So if you're trying to learn a little bit about how to write persuasive copy or text, she would be great, or checking out some of the stuff that she has done. Neil Patel, he is a pretty well-known marketer. He is a best-selling author. He's done a couple different platforms, on A/B testing specifically. One of them is called Crazy Egg, and he has a few other ones. He has a bunch of books. He's really well-known in the marketing space, so definitely check him out. And then also, the last but not least, definitely one of the greater ones, Russell Brunson is a huge name in the world of marketing and funnels and split testing. He is what got us kind of started into our ClickFunnels route several years ago. So go ahead and check him out. He's written a bunch of really, really fantastic books, .com Secrets, Expert Secrets, a bunch of really good stuff. So if you want to learn about split testing, if you want to engage a little bit more in this concept of marketing from a split testing standpoint, these are some people to look into, or just go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, and it will also give you direction as well. So, okay, last thing, I am on the wrong one. Last thing, just to make sure of for split testing, and I said this during the training, learn from your competitors, right? When I started building websites 5.5 years ago and doing a lot of this kind of stuff, I was a newbie on the team and I was actually a camera operator, and they said, hey, someone's got to learn to make this website, and it's now your job because you're new. I went to the big people in the industry. I went to Tony Robbins. We look at people like Grant Cardone. We look at Russell Brunson, and I dissected their websites to see what they were doing, what they were calling effective, and then we implemented it on ours. That's how you want to learn these things. And that is totally good. It's acceptable. It's expected. Learn from people who are being successful. Learn from the top websites and apply those principles. See, what are they offering? Oh, they have a free book. Oh, then they do a course, or they do a this, or in the real estate world, they're doing that, or the top plumbing site in Indiana is doing this, whatever it is. Learn from the other people, because that's how we grow as a society, right? There's a reason that we have competition is to make us better. So learn from your competitors. Okay. With that, I'm going to kick it back to you, Christine. I hope that was helpful. I'm sorry that's been a long time coming for that training, but the concepts of split testing are important. So I hope that gave you a little bit of insight of how to use AI to improve your sites. So I'll pass the baton. And
Okay, wonderful.
Adam and Julia, thank you. I do love my t-shirt. I just bought it.
Can you see my screen, Colton? Just adjusted this slide in real time. And
Russell Brunson just called us to have a meeting. So that very well may happen.
I literally pulled this up as you were doing that and decided to add you as a key figure in the world of split testing. So
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So we are coming up at the top of the hour. We definitely want to leave some time for live Q&A. I also kind of wanted to share what is to come in the world of AI. It's pretty incredible. It actually has to do with Agent GPT and Auto GPT, which is autonomous AI. It allows AI to think for itself to get objectives done. But again, we wanted to be mindful of everybody's time and also leave some time for Q&A. So why don't we, Colton, can you watch the chat? Do you guys want to go in to the world of what is to come with AI and have a bit of a longer training today? Or should we go ahead and transition into live Q&A? And next week's topic can be autonomous AI, as well as making sure that we do a step-by-step demo on how to really dissect the SEO of an existing landing page and then create a better one for yourself.
Yeah, we're going to let the crowd speak. So I haven't seen anything in the chat yet.
Feedback, anybody? Do you want to get into world of AI, or is this
More
a good stop?
training. I see, yes, longer training. I'm in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We're doing it. We're doing it. All right. Here we go. So what is to come in the world of AI? Let's go over that. Something super significant is that AI is accelerating at a rate that we have never seen before. It's actually accelerating innovation as a whole at a rate that we've never seen before. So if you look at this timeline, in 2020, the first version of GPT-3 launched. Of course, that was not a public-facing version of ChatGPT. In November of 22, ChatGPT was officially released to the public. Then in March of 14th of 2023, GPT-4 was released, which actually has a knowledge repository that is almost 600 times in the size of ChatGPT-3. And then on March 28th, so just 2 weeks after that, AI agents became a thing. So the innovation that's happening is happening way more constantly. It's happening within a much shorter time span than it ever was before. And that's because AI is giving us capabilities that are kind of scary in terms of how we're able to iterate next level options, right? So let's talk about what an AI agent is. An AI agent is actually a system that when you give it a task, it runs a loop until the task is solved, the objective is met. You might want to start being nice to robots today, because what an AI agent does more than anything else is think. It thinks for itself and actually comes up with solutions on its own to give you the objective or goal that you're looking to achieve. So what does it do specifically? 3 things. So first thing is that you give an AI agent a goal. So let's say a goal could be create a successful marketing company that's based on providing AI services, create a page through SEO that's going to rank #1 and be better than its competitors here, or its competitors. Then what it does is it actually figures out what it needs to do to accomplish the goal on its own without any additional prompting. So it actually takes the prompting and instruction and conversational element out, and it becomes autonomous. So you tell it what you want it to do, and then it'll do everything in its power to make that happen. Again, very scary stuff. What it also does is it spawns more AI to make that objective. So Auto GPT right now is the leading autonomous GPT application. So while Chat GPT, again, it needs to be prompted, it's conversational. Your output quality is going to rely pretty much on one thing, and that's the prompt quality that you put into it. So sometimes, I'm sure we've all experienced this, you go into Chat GPT, you ask it for something, and you get an answer that really makes you question everything. What is this, right? But if your prompts get a little bit more tailored, a little bit more polished, a little bit more detailed, then you start getting incredible information. And ChatGPT on its own is incredible, but the power of AI is enabling something that is just mind-blowing, and that's autonomous agents. So again,
Can we chime in? Is the logo right there, is that the logo for Auto GPT, Christine?
I believe so.
That is like a Mighty Ducks reference.
It's
style.
scary.
I love it though.
It's mighty. I could tell you that. It's very mighty. And what it does, it just works on its own. It works on its own to complete whatever tasks that need to be completed in order for you to hit your objective.
I wish I had this like 4 years ago when I was trying to get
know.
married. It was like, find me a wife. And AI would be like, dude, I would rather not.
I am telling you right now that, so I will let you guys know that this is something that was just recently released, right? So it's in beta mode. It's not totally fleshed out yet, but it will be. and we wanted you guys to know about it before everybody else. It is insane what it can do. So you just mentioned finding you a wife, and it connects to the internet. So what it does is it integrates with ChatGPT, and then it takes objectives so seriously, and it'll do kind of whatever it takes to get that objective completed. So if you said, I want you to find a wife, what it could potentially do
Mail order.
is, well, I mean, that it could start doing that, but what it could do that seems reasonable and easier, it could crawl dating websites, and
Yeah.
you could tell it what kind of woman is your cup of tea. And through the different elements of a dating website that people fill out on their profiles, it could serve you potential matches that could be your wife. And it could even, if there's an integration that can happen between the dating website and AutoGPT, it could even reach out to these potential wives for you. It's insane.
Crazy.
It's going to get to the point where AutoGPT is going to enable anyone to accomplish any task, even the complex ones. And all you need to do is tell it what your goal is. So you don't even need to know what goes into that goal. It's going to be as easy as, I want to create a mobile app that is a dating app for people in Utah who really like Lord of the Rings fans and want to find a wife, and it'll do it for you. It'll do
Already
it
exists.
for
It's
you.
called Mutual.
It's great. But it's insane. So it is an autonomous, AutoGPT is an autonomous experiment based on ChatGPT that has the objective of making ChatGPT completely run on its own. So it can be used for anything. It could be used for searching the internet, for planning, for coding, for running an autonomous Twitter bot. Eventually, too, it's going to integrate with everything. So right now, it doesn't integrate with very many things, meaning if you wanted to get it to do all of your Twitter posting for you, there's a lot of steps, and you do have to be a little bit proficient in coding to be able to make that happen. It's doable at its current capability, but it's going to get to the point where you just go into your Twitter, you get your API key for your Twitter, and you integrate the two, and it can do everything for you. And I'm not talking about just posting. It's going to post. It's going to split test. It's going to find what kind of content attracts the most followers. It's going to optimize that content. It's going to serve more of the content that works. It can do crazy things. Now, it is in beta mode, and there are some alternatives right now to where you could start using this wonderful technology. We'll talk about that in a second. But I do want to take some time to talk about APIs. So you've probably heard us talk about APIs. What in the world are they? API is an application programming interface, and it sounds super techy, and it sounds like you need to know code to know what it is, but it's a lot more simple than that, right? You have a user and an application, and an API is kind of the bridge between the two. So if you were at a restaurant and there is food, the server is the bridge between the two parties, right? So the API just helps you to connect one thing with another. So here's an example. If we have ChatGPT and we have AutoGPT, or we talked about ChatGPT and Sheets AI, or the different applications that we've shown, if you want them to communicate to one another, all you need to do is set up an API. And that is as simple as going into ChatGPT, finding what your API key is, and then telling that application, so AutoGPT or Sheets AI or whatever application you're using for spreadsheets, GPT for Sheets and Docs, you go in there, you copy and paste a simple code that comes from ChatGPT, and boom, they're connected. They can communicate with one another, and it'll charge you for the extra usage, but it's pennies on the dollar we're talking about here. And I'll actually show you my usage. So
And Christine, before you move on from the API thing, I do want to clarify, APIs are like secret code tied to a specific platform, that server. So when it talks about, generate your API key and don't share this with anyone, things like that, that's because when you post an API to another platform, it allows them to communicate in a certain way. So you do want to be careful with your API keys. You don't want to post them publicly or anything. It is like the password to the server account of whatever platform you're pulling the API key from. But that way you are protected, and the platform cannot access certain things unless you provide what's called an API key. So just wanted to clarify on that.
Thank you, Colton, for that. That's super valuable. So here it is. Agent GPT is the user-friendly, the best current, most user-friendly version of an autonomous artificial intelligence. So it's like AutoGPT, but AutoGPT right now you basically have to be a developer to understand it, or you have to be willing to work with a lot of code. So it's not user friendly. But if you go to agentgpt.reworked without an E, so REWORKD.ai, and Colton, if you don't mind dropping that in the chat, you can actually access the beta version of Agent GPT, which is really user friendly. And again, it's in beta mode, so it's not completely fleshed out yet, but if you play around with it, you'll see how capable it is of truly changing the world. So I just wanted to show you guys real quick, and I know we're over on our time a little bit here, and we do want to leave some time for Q&A, but I want to show you guys what the difference is between Agent GPT and Chat GPT. And with the way my screen is right now, it's not the way to do it, but check this out. So I went into Chat GPT and I said, create and get clients for a marketing company. Oh, it's gone. Well, sometimes AI likes to do its own thing, doesn't it? Okay, well, let's try this again. So I went into ChatGPT and asked it to create and get clients for a marketing company that specializes in marketing-based AI solutions. And Colton, I think the robots are a little bit mad at me because every single time I do these demos on ChatGPT, it likes to log me out right in the middle of the training, but we're going to try to pop back in here. Okay, so let's go to GPT-4 and let's ask them this question. So here we go. It's going to go for a little bit and it's concise. It's super helpful. It's great information, but it doesn't really try to do it for you, right? It's telling you what to do. It's conversational. So if you wanted to talk about maybe one of these points, how to define a target market exactly, you would have to respond to ChatGPT, and then it responds to you and it steers you down the right path. So it's not going to be very long. Let's see, present your solutions. Okay, great. These are all super great ideas. And this is super valuable for somebody who wants to create a marketing company that specializes in AI. But it's going to stop soon here, and you'll see how different Agent GPT is when you ask it the same question.
And Christine, can you drop one more time the link for the Agent GPT and I'll put it in the chat?
Yes. Let me actually just go here and drop it in the chat. It's insane stuff, guys. I don't know why I felt that it was appropriate to drop it in the chat 7 times, but I did. Okay, so here we go. This is the answer that you get. And of course, this is not the best prompt in the world, right? This goes against probably every single prompt training that we have done for you guys, but I just wanted to make it simple. So this is the answer you get. It's great. It gives you a great starting point. But if you want more information, you have to have a conversation with ChatGPT because GPT-4 is meant to be conversational. Look at what happens when I do this in Agent GPT. And just so you guys know, every time you access GPT, oh, there's my API key. Is it the whole thing? Oh, nope, I just showed the whole thing. Oh, well. Every time you answer or every time you access Agent GPT, you are going to have to integrate it. Oh, and it went away. You are going to have to integrate it with ChatGPT. So this is how the integration, well, I'll show you guys the integration in a minute. But what I've done to it now is that you kind of you throw it into a loop with the way that it is right now because you're giving it an objective, but it's not really connected to anything that can create a real world result for that objective. So what it does is it just starts executing like crazy. So it says, so I've given it the same goal, create and get clients for a marketing company that specializes in AI-based marketing solutions. And it's taking it incredibly seriously. So it says, okay, the first thing you need to do is conduct market research, and then it's going to kind of simulate it. Okay, so the market research happens, then your clients are going to come from a range of industries. And then it starts, this is the scariest part, starts thinking to itself, what can I do to make this better? Well, what's the next step? So then it says, okay, after you create the market research, you're going to develop and promote AI-based marketing solutions. And then you're going to have to implement effective marketing strategies. And so then it says, okay, this is, so now I'm going to try to execute this. And then I'm going to try to execute the next thing. And then I'm going to think, okay, what's the next logical step? And then it says, okay, now we need to create these solutions that are tailored to clients' needs. So how do we get the client's needs? You have to continually analyze the market trends. So then it thinks on its own again. And then it keeps going and going and going. And I mean, it's insane. And then this all happened within the time span of maybe a few minutes. all of a sudden here, I had to shut down the agent because it was in a loop. So it's insane what it's capable of. And while right now it might not get you the end result that you want initially, right? It's going to loop itself. What's going to happen in the future is that you're going to be able to connect everything to Agent GPT or Auto GPT, and it's going to actually do all these things that it's telling you that needs to be done. So its capabilities are pretty much endless. I actually downloaded a PDF of everything. And what's really cool too is that you can download everything right here, which I wish ChatGPT had. I don't think they have this capability yet, but you can turn it into an image, you can copy it, or you can turn it into a PDF, and a PDF is super helpful. But check this out. It's telling you everything. So here's how to create and get clients for a marketing company. And then it says, these are the potential target industries for AI-based marketing solutions. Incredible. And it goes on. And it goes on and on and on. And again, right now, it does kind of loop itself, but it teaches you everything that you need to know in order to get this task done and do it well and optimize it and make it the best that it could possibly be. And then what it'll do is eventually in the future, like I mentioned, it's going to connect with everything and actually do it for you. And you could coach it, right? You could tell it, okay, I want you to do this in 5 steps, and then it will not loop like this. But it's insane how it has the ability to think and make itself better. So then all of a sudden, all the way down here, it's saying, all right, we have to now get an AI-based system to analyze and optimize websites and social medias that we're making for our clients. This is what the system should leverage: machine learning algorithms for keywords, meta tags. Then it says, okay, to fulfill this objective, I'm going to perform the following steps. I'm going to gather data. I'm going to utilize machine learning. I'm going to monitor the progress of the lead nurturing system. It is insane. And it's going to be able to do all of it for you. So if you want to play around with it, another cool thing that it could do is you could say, hey, I want to plan a trip to Disneyland. I want the best trip ever to Disneyland, and I want you to plan it for me based off of my interests, which are this. And it will think and constantly just make itself better and better and create the perfect vacation itinerary for you that involves Disneyland. So
That means
again,
Kieran's going to have to come back and change their
I
plan.
know.
Yeah.
You're going to have to try to do this with Agent GPT, but you can see how different it is. This is conversational AI. This is autonomous AI. And this is autonomous AI that is not connected to everything that it needs to connect to in order to be able to run on its own right now. So these are just the beginning stages, but we wanted to share this with you guys because there's still a lot that you can do with it right now in its current capacity, especially on Agent GPT, which is very user friendly. And B, this is what's going to happen in the world of AI, and you should be prepared for it. Imagine if you have the ability before everybody else to accomplish anything you want with autonomous AI, how much value that's going to bring to your life professionally, personally. And then just so you guys know, if you guys want to set this up, in order for it to run at a decent capacity and not just lock you out after the first few tasks, you are going to have to connect it with your existing ChatGPT. So you just go to settings and then you click this link right here and it'll take you to your API keys. You click here to create a secret new key, you create it, copy that, and then you paste it right in this section over here. Oh, not over there. I got click happy right in this section here. And then you should be able to use fully ChatGPT 3.5 to run Agent GPT, which is insane. So hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of insight on what's to come in the world of AI. It's kind of scary, but it's happening. I mean, it's thinking. When you see the little brain, that's literally AI starting to do its own thing. So with that, that is pretty much the training that we have for you guys today. And we'd love to open the floor to some feedback. What do you guys think? Again, next week, we're going to show you guys a tutorial on how to take SEO from existing landing pages. I think that'll be a super valuable demo. And we'd love to also see if we can answer any questions live here and then choose a winner.
Yeah, so we've got a few minutes left. Christine, I sent you my recommendations for winners. So if you want to choose between there, I think you responded. But if anyone has, we only got a few minutes, but if you have a question that you'd like to get addressed, you can either drop it in the chat or you can do the raise your hand feature by clicking the reactions button down below. And we can try and answer a few questions to bring you up live if you'd like. I did see that somebody, Rodney asked about the difference between the Bard, Google's AI platform, and ChatGPT. So I answered there. ChatGPT is a superior engine. It's much better model than what Google's using. However, Google is connected to the most recent information, like on the internet. So just kind of pros and cons there. Christine, someone's asking for the agent GPT. Is it only connected to 3.5, or can you connect it to ChatGPT 4.0 version?
In its current state, it actually only, can you hear me, Colton? Oh,
Uh-huh,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. In its current state, it actually only does connect with 3.5. You do have to get on a waiting list in order for it to connect to 4. So I'll actually show you guys that. And then I will also show you guys my usage so you guys can see how cheap it is to do all of this stuff. So if you go to settings here, unfortunately, right now, GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is still a really, really competent version of ChatGPT, is the only thing that you can integrate it with. If you want to do GPT-4, you have to request it and get on a waiting list for it, but it's definitely something that's going to be rolled out soon. And in case you guys want to see what my usage is, and again, you get $18 of free credit when you have a ChatGPT Plus account. My usage for everything that I've done today, and I've used this since midnight, from midnight to about 2 a.m. and then to do a few iterations of this marketing game plan, 16 cents. So I think somebody averaged it out and it comes down to actively using Agent GPT is going to cost you about 50 cents for every hour that it's thinking and generating responses for you. So that's how cheap it is now to get autonomous AI up and running, which I think is super cool. And also, yes, I did want to answer that Agent GPT does connect to the internet.
Cool. Okay, any questions people want to do? Raise your hand, come on live to chat with us. Anything else you want to drop in the chat? We've got a few minutes left in case you'd like to interact with us. Go ahead and do that, raise your hand. Mason's Go is asking, do you think the Bard would be better for writing website content since it's pulling knowledge from Google? I would use a combo of both. I mean, ChatGPT is very intelligent to work with, but the Bard does have some recent aspects. I mean, ChatGPT is only September 21, so it's not old, but it doesn't have the most recent one. So,
or you can split test the SEO, have Bard generate SEO for you. So the only variable should be the SEO between the two sites, split test it, have Bard write the SEO for you, have ChatGPT write the SEO for you. Personally, I think ChatGPT's knowledge base is greater than that of Bard's, and ChatGPT was kind of made to be what it is. I still think that it's the industry leader. It was really funny when they debuted Bard not too long ago, actually. It performed so poorly when it was revealed to the world that it actually brought Google's stock down significantly, which was kind of sad for them. But it has developed over time and it is better. I'm not sure if it's ever going to be better than ChatGPT though, but you're welcome to do a split test and try. Let the data speak for itself.
And just like Sue put in the chat, there is ways to connect ChatGPT to the internet. So there's ways around that.
Yep. And absolutely, you can definitely have access to this training later. It's going to be in your mentor vaults by Monday, Colton, right?
Yeah.
As
So
well
I would
as
get the slides as well. You should have all the slides up there from previous ones, all previous trainings, and any handouts that we do. So there's a wealth of knowledge there as well.
Wonderful. Do we have anybody that wants to come on? If you want to raise your hand and ask us a question, you can put us on the spot. Maybe.
Going once, going twice.
Colton, maybe that means that like we answered all of the questions.
You did so good.
Training, so that way there's no live questions for us. Okay, perfect. So why don't we talk about the winners then? So we did want to give away a AI headshot / UFD VIP package, and we wanted to base that on the responses to our original question for anybody who's stuck with us. And then also Laurel, if you are still here, I would love to give you Maverick, complimentary Real Estate Maverick, because your enthusiasm, the fact that you have stuck with us to the end here, I just saw you in the chat, and the fact that you really want to become one of our Mavericks, we don't want that $1,000 sign up fee to hold you back. So we'd love to gift you with that today. I will actually go ahead and add it to your mentor vault about 10 or 15 minutes after this call. So if you go in there and you refresh, you should see it pop up in your mentor vault. If not, text me at,
I'm getting her contact as well.
okay,
So
so Colton's going to get you, get your contact information, and we can make sure that we set that up for you.
yeah, I want to read actually Laurel's message, because Laurel, you're definitely one of our honorable mentions, and I want to read what you said. So earlier we were asking what you've done with AI. Laurel said that she met a friend in the grocery store. I actually met up with an old friend in the grocery store, mentioned we were doing what they were doing business class. I asked if they'd heard about AI. They said they had, but they weren't allowed. I asked if they knew what AI could do. They only heard about it passing tests, exams, or gags. We talked for an hour about how AI is changing the world of business, and now they joined the digital real estate course so they can get hands-on experience. So that's awesome. Which I made the joke is like, we got to get you an affiliate link. So Maverick is an affiliate program that allows you to pitch the partnership package. So that's what we'll add there. But yeah, Laurel, that's awesome. Super fantastic. Okay,
We want to
Christine.
see Laurel owning multiple homes, 25% of 10 homes in the next year. It's very viable. We had somebody do like 50, and I was like, wow, this guy really took the Maverick program, ran with it. Now he owns multiple properties. He actually owns 25% of the properties and the investment that went into the properties. So it's great. And you'll actually see that full training on the Maverick program in your mentor vault, and get a behind the scenes look on how this guy, his name is Ryan, how he did it and how you can replicate it for yourself as well. And then I did want to touch on one thing. So ChatGPT, unfortunately, is being banned by a lot of employers. I guess they don't want you to be super tech savvy, or I think it's more so a lot of employers are afraid that ChatGPT is going to crawl their proprietary information and then cause a world of hurt. So what you can do, and I was just telling my dad this the other day, is that you can actually pull up a personal laptop or pull up ChatGPT on your phone, which you can easily do. And let's say you need help writing an email, you can get it to do that and then just email it to your work email, right? If you need help writing a code for sheets, you can get ChatGPT on a device that is not your work device, get ChatGPT to yield whatever you want it to yield, and then just email it to yourself. Because then you're eliminating ChatGPT. You're not accessing ChatGPT from a work computer if it's banned, whatever, but you can still use it. So don't let that deter you if it happens in a professional environment, the ban. Don't let it deter you from still using it, because it has so much value, and it's actually going to make you, ironically, a much more efficient and optimized employee for your company. That's just a workaround that I thought I'd throw in there, because my dad yesterday was so upset. He comes up to me and he goes, GPT is bad. And I'm like, well, Dad, you still have a phone, right? It's your personal phone. Use it and email everything to yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so Christina and I are tied on our winners. So I think we're actually choosing both of them. Is that right?
Absolutely. We like multiple winners here.
Okay, so we're going to announce the winners and we'll let you guys go. I know we're a little bit past. So I'm going to read off the one that I chose, which is a family. And then you can talk a little bit about the other one, which was the Quillbot mention. Okay, so the Bowers, who are on, I don't know if you're still on. If you are, drop something in the chat. But the Bowers had an awesome response earlier. And I just want to talk about what they did. They said, this is from the family as a whole.
They're here, Colton. They're here.
BOW, Josh. Got it. Yeah. Okay. So the Bowers said, I leveraged ChatGPT with my teenage boys to motivate them to dive into digital real estate training with me, so we can work together as a family and they can learn an amazing life skill. And this nearly eliminated just using devices to play video games. They feel like they are on the cutting edge of AI with ChatGPT and then using it to build digital real estate. They want to be able to help teach other teens how to do the same and break the wasted time spent on video games. Thank you guys for the knowledge and inspiration. That is awesome. So Bauer family, we're going to go ahead and give you guys upgraded VIP tickets if you can come to our event in May or the next one. And then we're going to be in touch with you for getting some headshots for you guys, or we could make new family pictures for you. That'd be kind of fun too.
That we could do that too. So if you guys just want to private message us your best mobile phone number, we will get with you and coordinate everything.
And I'm sending you a private message right now, so you can just respond to that.
Awesome.
Okay, and then the other one, Christine, do you want to announce who that is?
Yes, let me pull it up here. This was also a super impressive and to the point response. This one is from Mason Sco. And it seems like
I
you're
got it
using
right here. I'll send it to you.
Quillbot, which is great. So we will give you, if Mason, if you're on and you want some headshots, let us know. It says you learned about Quillbot from you guys, bought the paid version and use it to edit my DRE content and speeds up the process tenfold. Also, it helps me pass the AI detector. Use it for everything on my digital real estate sites. Oh, there he is, Mason. Awesome. Let's get you some really killer headshots too. So Colton, if you want to private message Mason as well, we can make sure to get him his prizes, his VIP, and get the process going for those headshots. They're super exciting. I did my headshots too, as well as my dad's. Some of them are not, they don't look like you at all, but you're going to get at least 10 to 15 ones that look exactly like you. And I have to say, these headshots, they actually are very generous too with the way that they create them. They're kind of like if you were on the best lighting, the best makeup or the best, whatever, you got a lot of sleep that day. They're very flattering headshot images for the most part. There were a couple from my dad that didn't give him hair on one side of his head, which was interesting, but most of them were really good.
What's the headshot
It
one?
is AISuitup.com for anybody that wants headshots.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Thank you guys. I know we ran a little bit over, which we tend to do almost every week. We hope this was valuable. We love interacting with you. We love providing all this value. We want to make sure that you're getting the most out of the course. So we will be back next week, same time. And then the week after that, there will be a break because we will have our live event, Unleash Your Financial Destiny, which you all have tickets to, 2 tickets. So please make sure you come. That's May 3rd through the 6th. Check out on your course. We'll send out an email about it. And then we'll be back for the final one the week after.
And these are the headshots, by the way. It's so cool. You get so many options. Like a lot of these genuinely look like my dad. And then there'll be some that are jarring. So just like this, like what happened to his head shape here? It turned into almost a cone head. But a lot of them are really, really good. And you used to have to pay hundreds of dollars to get professional headshots. And then if you didn't like the pictures.
Oh, that one, the one where he's against the wall?
This one?
The next one down with the gray, that one looks so good.
Yeah, I know. Let me look, guys. This is those are the headshot pictures, and this is that's the cowboy one. This is the picture that I gave. I mean, it's insane what it can do. So, and it paints him in a flattering light too. I was like, wow, Dad, this is great. Who knew a cowboy hat could look so good on you? I don't know why they went rogue with the cowboy hat, but most of them are not like that. Most of them are very professional in nature. So we'll be excited. And if you guys don't mind, Bowers and Mason, we will share your guys' headshots next week during our training.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, we'll leave it on for just a second to answer any last questions as they come in. But thank you guys for joining. We will see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.
And Josh, we can go ahead and cut the audio and stuff. We'll just sit on for a few minutes. You can cut the video as well.